Hello to the chicas and the chicas. In today's video, I'm going to talk about why I think that the classical Slav is a superb choice for beginner level players, as well as, of course, way higher up. But there is some features, in particular one that I really want to talk about today, that makes this opening an ultimate choice on entry level. And that one particular reason, my good friends, is going to be revealed on the board in a matter of moves. So I'm playing out the absolute main line of the classical Slav, and there you have it. This guy right there on f5 is the reason why I think that this is an absolute standout opening against d4, c4, so basically against 1d4. And before I go into it and explain to you the details, let me offer you a comparison. A huge percent of beginner players, when they learn an opening against d4, first and foremost, it almost always is a major struggle because it doesn't feel as intuitive. Somehow we seem to struggle for space. Our pieces don't have obvious squares to go to. And so we very often default ourselves back to the Netflix opening Queen's Gambit. And we go c4, d4, d5, c4, e6. And there you have it, folks. That's the big difference. We have got a very, very sad bishop on c8. And usually said sad bishop stays there for a very, very long time. And in fact, the main line, Queen's Gambit decline, does look like this, which is a very unappealing visual sight, both for coach and student alike. Now, is this a bad opening per se? Not at all. But it's extremely tough to teach good chess habits and to learn good chess habits when you're starting out from an extremely cramped and just unpleasant, uncomfortable position with noticeable space disadvantage. This is just not fun, and you can't really learn a lot of basic concepts because the freedom, the piece mobility is not there. Worse still, you often get thrown into the deep end with the Catalan, where as black, people very often end up in absolutely tragic positions, let's say like this, where again, the whole entire story of their life is that they can't move the c8 bishop in the first 25 moves of the game. And then we switch over to our good friend, the Slav, and what you see is that you never ever have this problem at all. So how does it look? So the first key idea is that we defend the pawn on d5 with c6. I should rather say back it, so that after the capture we can take back with the pawn. That's the purpose of e6 as well, by the way. But c6 keeps the bishop's diagonal open. The downside of c6 obviously is that it takes the knight square away from c6. But I think the argument that it's more important to allow our bishop to roam freely, the knight will be fine on d7, is a very good argument to be had, especially if we consider the fact that even in the Queen's Gambit declined, the knight usually goes to d7. So, c6. We take on c4. It is a critical move to play, because if we play bishop f5 right away, cd, cd, queen b3, hitting this and hitting this at the same time causes severe problems for black. So we need to take c4 first, and after the most commonly played a4, which is, by the way, played to prevent black from creating this pawn formation and keep the extra pawn, we have bishop f5, and from here on out, it is just super easy development all the way through. Look at this position. Every single minor piece has been developed. Every single minor piece has moved once. We are just about to castle. There you have it. And we have a super healthy, easy to play, comfortable position. And this is against the biggest main line of the Slav, meaning I'm doing my best here with white. It's super important that we understand that. Now, I throw you in the deep end in the sense that here e4 is the main move, which may look like we lost an important opening battle, namely the one for the center. But it's not quite over yet, friends, because we have got these 2 pawns, and we are actually looking to push forward one of them, and or we can provoke white to play e5 and enter this scenario, which is known as the French pawn structure, where again the key idea, the bishop. In a French, it's here. And now we have it outside the chain, creating a pin, allowing us a very, very handy position. That's it, folks. This is it. You have a very healthy piece formation, good development, easy access to everything you can wish for in an opening. Have a look at this game that I played the other day against a national master from the US. So I'm following my own chessable course, which by the way is available, and I'm gonna link it in the video, which is called the Club Players 1d4 d5 repertoire, which is based on the Slav. And here we go again, another Slav main line with knight e5, and just again observe the beautiful development and central fight that black puts up here. I'm not necessarily keen to say in contrast to the Queen's Gambit declined, but again, look at that. Like, immediately all of our pieces are just so beautifully developed. Look at this. Just picture perfect. Every single piece is out, and it just feels natural. Like, every single time I play a move, the next move, it just feels so logical. By the way, here, bishop c5 is also fine if that's what you felt, right? But the queen on d4 is actually very awkwardly placed. And so instead of cashing in on it too soon, we are going to try to exploit it with the rook. And look at it again. 13 moves. All of my pieces are developed. I'm castled, my rooks are connected, and my opponent is facing serious problems. Because this queen is super problematically placed in the center. They had to drop, well, they thought they had to drop back to a3 to avoid all kind of awkward discovered attacks. In particular, my opponent was afraid of knight b6, and then I'm winning the knight on c4. And here I actually missed the bishop d6 move, which would have created absolute chaos on the diagonal. And after f4, knight c5, now I have got a zillion threats, but the main one is knight b3, forking queen and rook, e4 is loose, bishop moves are on the cards with a very unpleasant discovered attack. White is almost dead lost here. Instead, unfortunately, I went with bishop c5, which is also quite strong, by the way, queen d2 and queen b6. Once again, piece mobility off the charts. Right? And after queen e3, I cashed in on this very famous elastic bend motif. When if they take this, I take back with the knight. So the knight does a little mini circle. And here we go. I have got a extra pawn. And I converted that extra pawn without too many dramas. I will zip through the rest. Here my opponent blundered into this positional threat of knight c4, forking knight and rook. Now, if you are interested in exploring more, I would like to very warmly encourage you to check out my chessable course on the topic. But what I would like to also add to this is that the way how I designed that repertoire to favor students who really would like to learn chess in what I consider to be the best way is that not only am I covering the Slav, which is based on freeing up that bishop. Let's not lock that guy in. Let's allow ourselves a healthy, good-looking, easy-to-play position. Not only that, but against all the side variations, such as the Colli, the London, the the Torre attack, whatever else is out there, in every single line, I go for a c5 followed by knight c6, followed by bishop out at some point. And for that, actually, I'm going to show you a different move order. Bishop out variation, almost across the entire course, 98%. So you get this very coherent, logically built repertoire, which thrives itself on not locking this bishop in. And again, I'm not saying that the Queen's Gambit decline is bad. It's a fully sound, perfectly fine opening. But in my opinion, we should not get accustomed to positions with black like this first up. It's not healthy for a beginner player to think that this is normal, when you actually can have a position with black that looks like this. This is normal. All of your pieces are out. You're ready to strike at the center with c5. Perfect. Absolutely awesome chess. And once again, by the way, this is best by white. I very often get players who play here stuff like rook d1, and after queen e7, they end up doing things like this, and I just break with e5, and look at this. This is something you're never ever gonna get, even if you're playing against someone really bad and you're playing off the charts in the Queen's Gambit declined. This is not commonplace. My piece activity is just insane, and my pieces are very coherently, nicely developed. I mean, after d, knight e, queen e5, I'm already threatening mate. It's just that cool. So friends, this is what I have to tell you. If you are a beginner level player or rated anyway, actually, like this, the biggest beauty of the Slav, by the way, is that you never have to switch out of it. Like, there are multiple players on the very top who played the classical Slav in World Championship finals. Kramnik did it against Topalov, just to name one. But I certainly do think that it's a really optimal choice for rating range 0 to 1500 to allow you to pick up healthy, good habits in the opening, and to allow yourself games where you can really enjoy peace, mobility, freedom, and decent central control. On that note, folks, I'm going to let you go. Once again, if you want to check out the Matching Chessable course, it's going to be linked down below. Please don't forget to sub, to like, to thank me, or super thank me if you can. And I will be back with the next video soon. Thanks for watching.